Hey everybody, thank you for joining us on this Zoom training call. And just if you don't know who I am, my name is Kelly Garcia. I am a Gold Ambassador with Plexus Worldwide, and we are all independent Plexus ambassadors, and the statements that we make are not representative of the company as a whole. So just that little disclaimer there for you to get us started. And I really appreciate everybody being here and taking part. And I wanted to remind you guys what we're talking about today, which is expanding your network. This is a really important topic for when you've been doing Plexus for a little while now and you start to think, okay, everybody I know has already heard about it. Trust me, that's not true. Go back to your list, check with those people again. You're not tapped out, but it is very important to be consistently adding to your network, adding to your audience. And there's a couple of different ways that I'm going to talk about how to do that. There's three main points I'm going to tackle here. And we're going to get right into it and talk about Facebook. Most of us are doing 90 to 85% of our business with Plexus on Facebook. That's how we're keeping in touch with people. And it's how we are making sure that our potentials and our audience knows that we're Plexus ambassadors. So we're going to start with Facebook because it's what we know. There's three things that you want to be doing as far as expanding your network using your Facebook page. The first is going to be requesting new people. How do you do that? I'm actually going to do a really quick screen share and show you how I go about expanding my network through friend requests. I think that I have become a professional recognizer of a fake Facebook profile. If I get a friend request or I see somebody in my people you may know, I can tell within like a few clicks, are they real? Is it a fake profile? Is it somebody that's, trying to scam people? And maybe that's just intuitiveness. I don't know, but I think it comes with the experience in doing this over and over again. So I'm going to show you the two different things that I do to help me add people to my Facebook friends list. And I'm going to do that by screen sharing. Okay, so I have already put my people you may know up here on Facebook. Now this is one way that you can do this. This is people Facebook thinks you want to be friends with. And I will scroll on here and not to be sexist at all, but I will say that I tend to look more at women just because I feel like there's more women Plexus ambassadors. I relate to women better. That's not to say that ambassadors are a bad thing. We all want them. They help us grow our teams, and Plexus is for everybody. But when I'm looking to expand my network and I know I'm going to be reaching out to people and talking to them, I feel like it's important they're people I might have something in common with. So right away, I see this is probably not a real Facebook profile. They have no mutual friends. There's no city. The picture's questionable, to say the least. But then I see, okay, somebody here has 4 mutual friends. And I'll let this little box pop up and I'll say, okay, are any of those Plexus people? And they're not. And it's somebody that's local to me. And they have information on their page. And I'll say, okay, well, we'll add them. Are they going to respond and say, yes, they want to be my friend? Maybe, maybe not. There's no telling. Okay, when I get this box that says suggest friends for somebody, then I kind of go, oh, wait, maybe I don't want to be their friend. Because you know what that means? That means that they don't have very many friends to begin with. And so they're probably not very active on Facebook and not a good potential for somebody who would be wanting to be a part of this business. I come down here and see here's somebody with another slightly weird profile picture. Facebook always wants me to be friends with a bunch of dudes, but that's really not my gig. Okay, this is somebody who comments and talks to me a lot on Facebook, and they're a mutual friend of this other person, and they have some information in there, so I'll go ahead and add them too. So I think you get the idea of exactly what it is that I'm doing by looking at people you may know on Facebook when it's talking to you about Facebook is going to recommend friends to you. Now, there's a second way to add friends on Facebook, and to do that, this is the way I do most of my audience building, and that is I go to somebody that I know is not a Plexus person. They're not using Plexus. They're not a customer or any of that stuff. And I'll go to their particular Facebook page, then I'll look at their friends list, and from there, I'll look and see who their friends are and see who their mutual friends are as well. And I'll add people that way. That's how I do most of my friend request adding. That being said, that's what I do on Facebook. Another thing that I do on Facebook is using group pages. The group pages is probably a little more targeted and a little more effective, I think, than just random friend requesting. Not that those were random per se, because there was a methodology to it and I put some thought into it. But using groups is a way to really be building relationships rather than just adding people here and there and kind of playing the numbers game and hoping one of them sticks. By using groups, I search for things that I have things in common with other people about. I have a large number of children. There's groups on Facebook for, large families. I like to crochet. There's crochet groups. I'm pretty political, so I use some political groups as well. Those things like that help me to find people with common interests that I immediately have something to talk to them about. So I can, interact with them on posts within that group. Once that happens a little bit, I'll add somebody as a friend, message them directly about something that's going on in that group that has nothing to do with Plexus. I try to make my initial contact with anybody that I'm adding non-Plexus related. Now, when I have requested somebody as a friend, or I've started a conversation with somebody with it from a group page, I make a note of when they accept me. And I don't make a note of every friend request I sent because holy moly, there's no way to keep track of that. But if somebody approves my friend request, I make a note of them and the date. And then I make a point within a couple days to go and look at their profile and interact with a recent post, not something from 3 weeks ago because you don't look like a crazy stalker that's trolling their page. But I'll find something recent within the last day or two, like it, comment on it, find a way to start building a rapport with that person. Now, I reach out to people in non-Plexus ways directly with Facebook Messenger a lot, but my interaction with them has been limited and I don't know them that well, and I'm trying to start a way to build a relationship with somebody, and it's really hard to do that without coming off as like a total wacko. So I have kind of developed a little thing that I do that helps me to start conversations with people that I wouldn't have another reason to start a conversation with them otherwise. And it's a little bit of a fib, not gonna lie, I'm kind of fibbing when I do this, but they don't know that until they join the team and see this video at a later date. But for right now, they don't know, and so that's okay. I will send people a private message on Facebook, and it will say, hey, I know this is totally out of the blue, but my son or daughter, whatever I type at that time, is doing a school assignment and they have to ask 100 people a random question. Or they have to ask 100 people this question and log the results for like a statistical problem. So do you mind answering this question? I figure I have 2,000 Facebook friends. I should be able to get 100 answers. And the question will be something, hey guys, can you mute your background noise so that we don't hear what's going on behind you? That would be awesome. I will say something like, okay, I have 2,000 Facebook friends and I should be able to get 100 answers. I don't have time to take my kid out to talk to strangers in public, which isn't safe anyway, so help me out. And I'll send a Facebook message and I'll say, do you or somebody you know collect stamps? I know it's totally random, but if you're talking about like a statistics problem in a math class, that's the kind of thing you would see anyway. And that's my lead in. It doesn't have to be collect stamps, it can be anything like that, but the idea is still the same. hey, I know this is totally random, but my son is doing a math problem for class and he needs to get 100 answers to this question. I'm super busy and I don't have time to take him all around town asking 100 people. So would you mind answering for me, do you or somebody you know collect stamps? Easy peasy. I get a lot of answers that way. I know it sounds crazy, but it really does initiate a conversation you wouldn't have started otherwise. Now, they usually answer me, which is true. I don't get a lot of people ignoring that message. Usually they say no because not that many people collect stamps. And then I'll say, okay, well, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. And then I will make a comment or ask a question about something having to do with that person's life. Because I've looked at their Facebook profile. I know their 8th grader just graduated, or I know they just got a new dog, or they just came back from vacation. So I'll say something like, look like you had fun on your vacation. I can't wait to go on mine, or something like that. So that a lot of times, out of sheer politeness, sometimes people will say something back to you about something they may have noticed from your Facebook profile. Or they'll just answer you, and that's fine too. It's okay either way. You've now established a connection with that person with your baloney question about stamps, made it clear that you are aware of them, and kind of put yourself on their radar. Facebook algorithms will also make you show up in their Facebook feed more often if they interact with you in Messenger. That's a proven fact. So what I will do is I'll take a couple of days away from that message interaction, and I'll go back and I'll say to that new person who I've never talked to before except about stamps, hey, ever since I spoke with you the other day, I've been meaning to tell you about, let's say, our new product, Edge. It's super awesome and it has helped my focus and concentration so much. I think you would totally love it. You should try it. Now, if you just sent that message to somebody who'd never talked to you before, they'd be like, girl's trying to sell me something. But you talked to them about the stamps and you mentioned that you saw they were on vacation. And now this message is not totally out of left field. It's still honestly, they're still like, okay, but they're not as likely to just ignore you or unfriend you as they would have been otherwise. That's my Facebook ways of expanding my network. Now, in person is a little trickier because, first of all, you have to get over the fear of talking to somebody you don't know, which can be a little bit scary. Not for me. I've never met a stranger, so I'll talk to anybody. I don't care. But there's a couple of steps that I have learned from Sarah Robbins and Eric Worre and different people. They've talked about how to approach people in public. And I love these. This is a super easy 3-step process, and I think it's so smart. And it takes tips from multiple people, and I kind of condensed it down into one little interaction. So how this goes. You see somebody you're talking to in public, or you recognize that they let's just, for instance, say somebody is in front of you at the grocery store. They're buying like the 12-pack of Red Bull. So you see them buying the 12-pack of Red Bull. And you look around and you kind of say, okay, let me see how I can approach this person. So they're buying their 12-pack of Red Bull, but they have a cute, 4-year-old in the cart, which is just awful. But what are you going to do? So I'll say to that person, oh my gosh, your daughter is so cute. I love her shoes. I can never find cute kid shoes. Where did you get them? Now, you're in the grocery store checkout line, so you're going to have a limited interaction with this person already. If you were, let's say, at the park and this person was drinking a Red Bull and playing with their 4-year-old daughter, you want to, before you start talking about their daughter's cute shoes or anything like that, you want to be acting as though you have someplace to go because you want to limit the interaction. You don't want to get trapped into a really long conversation with somebody. Sometimes that happens, but when we're just initially building contacts, you want them to be quick and short. I heard a tip from one of the network marketing gurus who said, talk to more people less, which I loved because the more people you talk to and the less you say, the better the impact you're going to have. So you've seen this person at the grocery store. They're buying the case of Red Bull. You say to them, oh my gosh, your daughter is so cute, or I love your jacket, or whatever the case may be. You lead with the compliment. And then you say, oh my gosh, I used to drink Red Bull, but I don't anymore. and I found that this really helps me. You should totally try it. Would you like some more information? People a lot of times will either look at you like, girl, you have lost your mind, which is okay. You still give them your card. Or they'll say, well, what is it? Whatever. Now you're in a limited time. So you say, well, they're paying, it's your turn. You say, here, we don't have time right now, but here, add me on Facebook and I can send you some information. When you say add me on Facebook, don't say to them, can I add you? Because now they're back in control of the situation. Now it's up to them if they accept your friend request or not. But if you say add me on Facebook, or hey, are you on Facebook? You can add me. And they're going to be like, okay. They get their phone out and you say, okay, well, look me up because my name is common. My name is Kelly Garcia. That's a pretty common name. So I'll say, look me up so I can make sure you found the right person. And they'll look it up right then, say add, and I'll say, okay, I added you. Great. I'll send you some information as soon as I get home because you're in the grocery store and you don't have that much time. So that's my in-person way of adding people to your network. Is you want to get them on your Facebook feed because that's where 90% of your business takes place, right? And you can continue to establish that relationship that way. But you have to manage that interaction. You have to start off with knowing that it's going to be a limited interaction. Start with a compliment. Work your way into the reason why you think that they want to know about what you're talking about, whether it's their Red Bull or their Starbucks, or they got 8 screaming little kids and they're in a hurry and man, I bet you wish you had more time. Any of those things can be segued into Plexus products, Plexus business. So keep that in mind. My third way of expanding my network, because I know everybody is pressed for time and I don't want to talk too long, is referrals. Requesting referrals from people who already know and trust you is essential. When you go to your friends, your sisters, your moms, your babysitter, your grandma, anybody that you know, and you say, I am doing this. I am so passionate about it, and it has helped my friends with all of these issues. Please, will you send me any referrals for people that you may know that could benefit from this? It's very difficult for them to turn you down and be like, girl, I think you're crazy. They might, but truthfully, people who care about you and trust you are going to have a pretty firm foundation with the fact that you are not just out trying to make a buck and you're not just a fly-by-night kind of person. So you're going to be able to take those people and create a referral network. So you want to ask your existing friends and family to help you out and send business your way. Another thing about requesting referrals is even with new people. When I meet new people and I say, oh, what do you do? I always ask people what they do because I want them to ask me what I do. But when I say, oh, what do you do? Whatever it is that they say they do, I say, oh my gosh, I know people who could use your service. Let's connect so I can send you some referrals. Oh, what do you do? You're an accountant? Oh, well, I have a home-based business and I have a bunch of friends that have home-based businesses that are just starting to take off and they're going to need help with an accountant. Let me have your information. Let's connect so I can send you referrals. And then if they're an accountant, which is the example I'm using, they're going to say you have a home-based business that's taking off. Doing what? You have a bunch of friends doing the same business? Yeah, it's a direct sales company. It's called Plexus, where have almost doubled my income from my 9-to-5 job. And that's, a numbers game person is going to be like, oh, you doubled your income? Tell me some more. So you have to create reasons for people to want to give you a referral. And if it's reciprocated, if they have a service, oh, you're a hairdresser? Oh, well, let me connect with you because I know that my good friend hairdresser just moved away. Little fibs like that are not the end of the world. Saying to somebody, I have a good friend who's looking for a new hairdresser. She lives in La Quinta or wherever you live, whatever your town is, she's just down the street from you. Let me have your information so I can send her to you. Those are ways to create referrals. Even if you're saying, I'm going to send you a referral, that's another way to help people want to help you build your network. They may not be interested in what it is that you're doing, but they may know people who are, and you never want to burn that bridge or close that door. So I'm going to go back and recap really quickly. We have 3 key ways to expand your network. Using Facebook to find new friends with the people you may know feature, or your non-Plexus friends, look at their list and find people who have mutual friends that are also non-Plexus friends. This is a little harder for people who are in really small towns or kind of know all of the same people, but it can be done. Also, don't forget about asking people questions that are just totally random to find a way to connect with new people. Hey, do you or anyone you know collect stamps? I need to know for my kids' math project. Those are really easy ways to connect with people on Facebook. When you're meeting up with people in person, which has really helped me expand my business, is pushing myself outside my comfort zone and talking to people face to face. Make sure you lead with a compliment. Make sure that you get them to add you on Facebook right then and there. Try not to have to walk away from somebody that you want to connect with without making that connection, because trading information is not always going to result in a connection. So try to get it done right then and there. And don't forget to ask for referrals. Ask for people that you know, and ask when you talk to new people. Let them know what it is that you're doing and ask them for referrals. People generally want to help. They want to help other people, especially entrepreneurial type people. So if you meet somebody who's a small business owner and you can offer, can I put business cards on your counter and I'll let people know that you sell these really awesome lights? Whatever the case may be, find ways to create mutually beneficial relationships with people. And always remember to keep adding people to your network. Everywhere you go, all of the people that you meet, find ways to get them on your Facebook. If you just use Instagram, find ways to add them on Instagram. Whatever it is that you do, find ways to get those people keyed in to the way that you're sharing so that you can introduce them to these products and this business, because we have what people need. All right, guys, thanks so much for being a part of our call today. And we are going to be posting this recording so you can watch this again later with your teams. I hope everybody has a great night. Bye.